Welcome to another edition of the Raider Media Lockdown Sports Quiz live episode. It is episode 3. I'm Derek Albert. It's great to have you on board. Once again, I've got my co-host, the very well-known Tyron Jabu Barnard, but this time around we've got two exceptionally well-known players on board. Ordinarily, we have a superstar sporting star taking center stage, and then he's joined, or she's joined, by a teammate that they chose. This time, that certainly was the case, but the teammate happens to be fairly well known too. But let's start off with our star in question, Brandon Stone. Welcome on board. Great to have you along.
What's happening, bud? Yeah, good to have something to do on a Wednesday evening.
Yeah, for those that are logging in for the first time, it is the Raider Media Quiz to View. It's the first of its kind. We'll be putting these two chaps through their paces, and while doing so, we'll finding out a bit more about them. Just talk us through, who is this teammate of yours, Brandon?
You know, so like you said, it's a sport interview quiz / whatever you want to call it. And there's only one man that I know has probably the same, if not a better general knowledge with regards to sports, and that is one Protea, Aiden Markram. So I thought I'd cash in a favor, and I'm now in debt to him. So I'm expecting a phone call sometime soon down the line, but hopefully we can join forces, join sporting brains tonight, and come out on top.
Yeah, well, Aiden certainly has proved his worth in the past with the Lockdown Sports Quiz. He was part of the victorious Team Silver, where you also answered correctly, Aiden, during the shootout. What was the question again?
Derek, I think it was most ducks by a Proteas batter in Test cricket, in the history of Test cricket. I think that was what we were after. I think.
Yeah, that was the question, and Aiden was pretty sure he was on the list, but nowhere close.
It was beautiful. I actually asked you afterwards because your answer was Jacques Callis, and given the amount of matches Callis has played, obviously he's going to have a few ducks in there. And I pose the question to you: are you on the list? And what was your answer?
Most probably, if not, then it'll be soon.
I think your exact words were, if we go to India again, then probably.
That's what it was, yeah.
Before we get into the real deal, Brandon, just tell us a bit more about how you and Aiden know each other. I mean, it's not just by virtue of the fact you watch each other on TV.
Yeah, so Aiden and I pretty much grew up together from when my family moved from Rustenburg to Pretoria. We grew up going to the same school, being Cornwall College, for most of our preparatory school until Aiden became one of those boys, our boys, but we forgive him for that. Yeah, we used to play on the preparatory first team cricket team together, and I used to be a bowler, and obviously he's a batsman, and hence why I play golf for a living now and gave up my cricketing career promptly after that.
Well, we're great to have both of you on board. Tyron, talk us through what people can expect tonight.
Yeah, so obviously this is the third week of the Lockdown Sports Quiz. The Lockdown Sports Quiz live, rather. We've been running for almost 10 weeks on the private version that features more than just two people taking on the quiz. But absolutely, tonight it is a quiz out of 31, 5 rounds. The opening 4 rounds, 5 marks each. There will be questions about Kabaddi, who's the current reigning world champion of Kabaddi and who was the player of the tournament. There's also questions about the cheese roll, the Gloucester cheese roll every year. So we know, Brendan, this is right down your... no, we stick away from those sports. It's recognized sports. But absolutely, so it'll be the first 4 rounds, so each out of 5, giving us a total of 20 before we go out to the shootout. The shootout is out of 10, but if you get 10 out of 10, it will be a bonus 1 point there. And of course, we all know how golfers love to go over par, so that should be perfect for you, Brandon. Let's just check in on the leaderboard and see who you're trying to beat.
Yeah.
So Warren Whiteley was partnered by Lace last week. They moved to the top with 18 after Rassie van der Dissen, Aiden's teammate, and his teammate Chris scored 15 in the opening week. Both of them went into the shootout on 10 out of 20. So you've got a mark for the halfway point. And without further ado, Derek, let's get into round 1.
100%. Okay, a nice easy one to kick things off, gents. Very, very simple. All I want to know is who will captain the international team at the President's Cup in 2021?
Am I allowed to answer this one? This one I actually know.
Yes, between both of you. Yeah, it's completely.
It's got to be Trevor Immelman. I think there's 1 point. I'm done. I can go home now. I've literally, I've now surpassed the duck. We're on one. We move on.
Excellent. Okay, so you won under the round so far.
One under. Birdied the first, baby. Birdied the first.
Trevor Immelman named captain of the international team for the 2021 President's Cup, which will be staged at Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. Are you going to be in that squad, Brendan?
I'm hoping for it. I managed to play the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow a few years ago, and it beat me red and blue. So I would love to go back in a President's Cup format where it's match play and you can't make too many big numbers without sacrificing too much. And obviously being part of a team led by Trevor will be a tremendous honor, but there's still a lot of golf to play before then. And we'll see. Come 2021, maybe I'll be a staple of that team.
How many messages have you sent Trevor since you heard the announcement?
I think I've sent him 14 messages, 3 fruit baskets, 2 chocolate hampers, and 1 green jacket cake. But I mean, not that I'm keeping track.
Okay, well, holding thumbs for the fruit baskets work, and maybe you win another tournament or two. That will certainly sweeten the deal. Okay, moving on to a sport that maybe Aiden can have a bit more input this time around. Now, Mohammed Yusuf has scored the most test runs in a calendar year. He scored 1,788 in 2006. Viv Richards is second on that list. A South African is third. Who is it?
Yes, Stoney, I'm pretty sure it's good old Graham Smith. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's Biff.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that confidence.
But I'm not at 100%, but I'm 90-ish.
Talk us through your thought process, Aiden.
So naturally, as an opener, you're batting most of the time, so you're getting the most of the opportunities available. Not only that, there was that year where he went, I think he got like 2 or 3 double hundreds in the season.
I remember that. In the UK, he got like 2 double centuries in one series or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Look, I stand to be corrected, but if I had to give you a name now, I'm definitely saying Graham.
Okay, Graham Smith is the final answer that you're looking in during the lockdown. And Graham Smith is indeed third on the list. 1,656 runs. That was scored in 2008. 25 innings, a high score of 232, averaging 72. And in that time, he scored 500s and 350s. So well done, gents. 2 out of 2 so far. Full house. Okay.
Well done, Sausage.
This one definitely aimed at Brandon. Okay, Brandon, you captured victory in the Scottish Open in 2018.
Yes.
I want to know your scores for all 4 rounds in order, and how far did you finish ahead of the next best South African? Aiden, if you know, then your relationship is exceptionally close, and I'll be very impressed.
I only know his last round score.
Hey, give me a moment here. Give me a moment.
Okay.
I know the first round was 70. I know that because it was a pretty average start to say the very least. Last round was 60. Yeah, last round was 60. First round was 70. If I'm not mistaken, the second round was a 66. And the third round was a bogey-free 68. If I'm not mistaken, I think I've got my numbers right. So wait. No. Whoa, wait. Shit. I need your proof. My maths is kicking in now. Yeah, no, it's a past 70. Past 70.
70.
So wait, 68. 68, 62, 68.
What did you win on? What was your number that you won on? Not like wasn't. I
got a gold. Can I give me 2 minutes to the gold putter that I have from Ping in the cupboard there that tells me my score?
No, but wait. Don't you know how much under you were? You don't know.
Wait, 2, 6 is 8, 12. No, it wasn't 22 under.
No, probably 22. 10 under on the last day. Third day, if you shot 68, that's 12 under. And if you shot 66 on day 2, it's 16 under.
Yeah, but 16 under doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Derek once went 16 over in one hole.
Yeah. That sounds very right. You know, ordinarily, that's why I made this question so difficult regarding the next part, but I'm going to give that part up. You don't need to. I thought you'd know this at the top. You don't even know the total that you got in the tournament that you won in Scotland.
Derek,
I can tell you that I had 14 bottles of champagne, 7 Jägermeisters, 1 tequila, 2 the night that preceded that. But it's amazing what that can do to the few hours prior to that. I'm absolutely stumped now. I can't remember.
I remember exactly what
I'll give you this. Your first and last numbers are 100% correct, 70 and 60.
Oh, then they're all right. Then it's 70, 60, 70, 66, 68, 60.
Okay, you're locking that in.
70, 68, 60, no, 70, 66, 68, 60. Yes.
No, you did even better than that. 70, 64, 66, 60.
Oh,
For a total of 14 under 260. And incidentally, just going to the second part of the question, I'm not going to worry about it, but you finished 5 clear of Trevor Immelman, who gets mentioned again.
Yeah,
he was the next best South African. But
we don't want you to say that when he's up for captain
you should tell him
selections.
that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably would have known what you know now, probably would have given up a couple of shots and let him take in the lead. Okay, next up. This is a question we asked last night, and it's entirely from left field, but you guys can work it out amongst yourselves. So we asked it to our faithful who are all watching, and we've had a couple of comments coming through, and poor Matluane is saying these questions are very, very easy. Poor Rassie and Chris, who are now anchor the table. So let's harden it up a bit. Mookie Blaylock is a former NBA player. Played 13 seasons in the NBA for the likes of Nets, Hawks, and Golden State Warriors. His name, Mookie Blaylock, was the original name of which very well-known rock band?
Sure.
Anytime.
Can we get a clue?
They're American.
Very well-known rock band. So well-known rock bands in America.
Exceptionally well-known.
This is your music.
AC/DC? No, it's not AC/DC.
They're Australian.
Oh shit, they were. I do apologize. Sorry. Sausage, you very quiet there. You're supposed to be helping me in this.
No, you man alone, Yobi.
I think my father will disown me if I don't get this right, though. What's the name again?
Okay, so yeah, Mookie Blaylock. They currently are still around, the band, very much so. Okay, one little clue. The lead singer's initials are EV.
Sure.
Van Halen?
Tony, you can have a great guess.
That's not EV. Van Halen.
No, I'm going for the band, not for the guys.
Okay, going to push you for an answer. Well, think of some band between the two of you. EV, the lead singer.
I mean, I know I've got a pony at the moment, but I'm not exactly a headbanger.
They're not like a heavy metal rock band. It's a very well-known band. I guarantee that you have them on your iPhone, on your playlist.
My guess will be the Eagles.
Yeah, I
don't think they play music anymore, so that's why it's a tough
Led Zeppelin, maybe?
5, 4.
Go with any of the above, because it's all wrong.
Yeah, it's all wrong, exactly.
Oh, jeez. They still play music, rock band.
They still do, yeah. Okay, going to push you. Final second.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
There we go.
Ooh. Wow, well done. Jeez, right at the death. You crack in, but it's wrong, unfortunately. Although, very similar line of answer, because the original name, Mookie Blaylock, then became a band by the name of Pearl Jam.
And
you're talking to two people. You're talking to two guys. I'm the oldest at 27. You bring in Pearl Jam into the equation.
It's
This
still
is not.
and interesting how they got their name. They went to a recording one day and they opened up their demo case and they found Mookie Blaylock's basketball card in the case, just sitting there. And they thought, well, why don't we just adopt the name? Thankfully, they changed it eventually. So that was good going. Okay. Final question. Now, what we did was we opened this up to the audience so they could come up with one final question. The best one that I found, we had a whole bunch. Jean-Ro Hubert, A.B. Moala, Ian Turner, all coming with the bunch. But Jason Voigt, I thought, was a good one. He asks, who is the last non-British, non-German F1 driver to win the World Drivers' title? Non-British, non-German. So you take that out of the equation and you're left with very little. And that one courtesy of Jason Voigt. Thanks so much.
Fernando Alonso?
I'm stumped on F1.
I know Fernando's got a couple.
Non-German. So he's Spanish.
Yeah. And then obviously Sebastian, Vettel, and Lewis have won so many over the last decade, pretty much. But
yeah,
I think Fernando's won with Renault, if I'm not mistaken. No, but he's also British. Shit. I was thinking about Rosberg.
Yes.
He's also,
so I'll give you some help with, you mentioned Alonso so far, hey?
yeah.
Okay, so Fernando captured the title in 2005 and 2006. So you've got to ask yourself, was there someone since him that is not German or British?
Oh, I get you. Okay.
Okay, well, the last 6 have been won by Mercedes. Whether that was Nico Rosberg or Lewis Hamilton, that writes off 6 years.
Yeah.
Prior to that was Sebastian, if I'm not mistaken, Vettel, and that was with Red Bull. That was a couple, if I'm not mistaken. So that's 8 years.
Then surely we're getting close to Schumacher's time, or was it before that?
I think Schumacher was just as Fernando was coming in. He was going out.
Is it?
Yeah.
And then you go back to the Germans again. So that eradicates that.
Maybe we just stick with Fernando.
Yeah, I think
don't know.
Fernando.
Up to you.
I can't think of anyone because I'm thinking like, no. There was the Formula One team, Brawn. Who won it when Brawn was Formula One team?
Ah, you know your stuff, Brandon. I'm impressed.
The team. There was a team. It was.
There's Daniel Ricciardo. No.
No. Was it David Coulthard, one of the drivers for Brawn?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, going to push you. 5.
Go
4.
for Tony. Shoot.
I'm going to go with Fernando because I literally can't think of anyone else.
Fernando Alonso, you're locking that in the Lockdown Sports Quiz Live edition. So Fernando Alonso winning in 2006 and 2005. And I actually spent a bit of time with him now in Saudi Arabia at the beginning of the year because he's was driving in the Dakar for Toyota Gazoo Racing. So hell of a nice guy, an amazing driver. He also rolled the Hilux sometime during the course of that race, but he made it to the end, and he was the penultimate non-German, non-British winner to win a season. Because in 2007, directly after Fernando's last F1 world title, Kimi Räikkönen captured the title
Kimi.
with Ferrari. And that started the British and German invasion. So Kimi Räikkönen was the man you missed out on. And that means after round 1, you've got 2 out of 5. Ty, over to you.
Oh.
Yeah, so for 2 out of 5, you made a good start. Then a couple of 3 putts there. But golf just works so well for this game. All right, so the next round is the visual round. I'm going to give you 5 visual pictures, and I'll ask you a question related to that. There's definitely golf featured there. There's definitely cricket featured there, and maybe another sport. So let's have a look. This is number 1, a bit of a famous trophy, but I want to know what tournament do they play for this trophy, Brandon? It is a golf trophy.
HSBC Championships in Shanghai.
I think you should just consult with your teammate for a little bit, or
Yeah, come, bud. Don't you take my value. What's going on here?
Bro, the only reason I can tell you that is if you look at that picture, the red grandstands in the back is HSBC. All the WGC trophies have a similar trophy to that. And the reason I know it's Shanghai, because if you look behind the trophy, there's a nice big lake behind it. And I've hit about 3 or 4 balls in there during my 2 stints that I went to the HSBC. So I remember it quite vividly.
well, I
Let's
can
go
tell
with
you
it.
that was so quick that it was almost a condor or an albatross. But it's worth 1 point.
Would you
Congratulations.
guys like to hear a funny story about that?
Absolutely.
So I've been a professional golfer now for the better part of 7 years, and my worst ever score I've ever shot as a professional was on that golf course during the first round of the tournament. And I will give you a point if you can guess what I shot.
So you just repeat it, your worst score.
My worst
Worst
ever
score.
18-hole score, tally end of the day, score as a professional golfer was on during the first round of the WGC Championship in China, playing alongside Thomas Peters.
I'll go with 80. Round 80.
I'll go with 81.
87 blows.
Jesus.
Which you know, I see Raymond Herbster, our partner at Raider Media, actually said 87. But I'll share because you did, Brendan. That is, 87 is my best ever round of golf.
Well, funny enough, so
Yeah.
87 on the first day, and being the WGC, the first 2 rounds you've drawn with the same guys, and we stood on the first tee box the following day, and Thomas looked at me and he was like, "Let's just try and break 86 today, okay, bud?" And I looked at him, I was like, "Yo, that's cheeky, eh?" And I went on to shoot 67 in round 2, so it was the biggest improvement margin by a professional in a WGC in history. 20 shots.
Yes, you like
That
that?
is
That is incredible.
Oh, we are using that question for next Tuesday. That is an amazing stat. Done. So well done to all those watching. You're going to have a massive boost come next week, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Team Silver.
No bias there, Aiden.
No,
all right.
no, sorry, that's all.
This coming weekend would have been the Comrades Marathon. Obviously, it has been cancelled for 2020. And I'd like to know, this gentleman, this photo is from 2018 where he finished second, but he won it in 2019. Do you have any idea who it is?
Is it
I walk for a
Klipko?
living, so-
Klipko.
What did you say, boy?
I can't say. Kipko, something like that. Klipko. I don't even know what his first name is. I hope that is okay, Eric. Tony, do you have any idea?
I walk for a living. I don't run. This is out of my forte, boy.
No, but this is marathon. I got a feeling. Yes, that could be. If I have to guess, I'm saying him. I just can't give you his first name. I think it starts with an M. Yeah. But that's my guess.
I'm going with sausage because I'm nowhere on this one.
All right. It is not correct.
Oh.
Kipko, I think who you're referring to is the marathon runner. This is obviously ultra. And this is Edward Motibi, which our good friend Mpo obviously got right on the YouTube comments. So Edward Motibi, no chance to defend his crown this year. All right, what also happened is 10 years ago tomorrow, Shaba scored an amazing goal at Soccer City against Mexico. I froze. I hugged a Mexican because I got a tickets on the day. But I'd like to know, what was this mascot's name?
Sure.
Wasn't it something with a Z?
Yes, I was thinking Z as well. Zakama or...
Ooh, you're not far off there. Zakumi? No, Zakama? No. Yo.
Watch it not even be with a Z.
No, it's not even with a Z, 100% guaranteed.
I'm also with a Z, so
Everyone is
let's
getting it
stick with a
correct on the
Z.
YouTube channel.
Really? Okay, just
Yeah.
hold on. Let me get my iPad quickly.
Zoo.
Are we, at least tell us, are we right with the Z?
I feel like if I tell you that, it would be too obvious. So I've probably told you already.
Yeah.
I think we hot then, Stoney. Now we just need to
what
come
is
with
it?
a name. It's not
Zah-
Zakama, it's not.
No.
And it's
Zaf-
not zucchini because
Zafiki?
that's chow.
Zafiki? No.
All right, I'm going to have
Yes,
to
bro.
push you for an answer. The fun thing is, one of the names that you guys said is the answer, but there were quite a few that you said, so it's great.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to have to push you for an answer.
Zakama.
Zakama sounds right.
Zoo. You said something zoo. Something with a zoo. Zukama or zoo. I think it's zoo.
Zukama.
Zoo.
No, it's got to be Za. Surely that would go ZA for Essa.
Zach. It was Zakumi or something. Let's go with that.
Yes. Zakumi. I'm going with him on that
Okay,
one.
let's lock that in. Zakumi, the we think a leopard. Zakumi is correct.
Well
Your
done.
beauty.
You beauty!
All
Get
right.
in.
Well
that
done,
was
well done.
brilliant
That
the way
was,
you guys got
that was
to that.
great teamwork. Absolutely great teamwork. So, although I do quite like the name Zafiki. I think
Zafiki's dope, right?
no, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's a nickname for Patrick Reed going forward. But we'll change that out to something else. Let's move on. Number 4. Who is this bowler?
Oh, looks like Mitchell Johnson.
I agree 100%. Mitchell Johnson.
Damn it, that was quick.
Locked in and loaded.
Locked
All
in and
right,
loaded.
all right. It's locked in. It's loaded, and it is correct. It is Mitchell Johnson. So Aiden, I thought that gives me a nice opportunity to ask you. I mean, Mitchell has a brilliant track record against South Africa. He terrorized. But which bowler do you really not enjoy facing when you play international cricket?
So, thankfully, I didn't have to face him.
Yeah.
Because I've heard stories that he made us stress and dance and do things they weren't meant to be doing. But I reckon the bowler I least like to face is probably Pat Cummins.
Yeah.
And I don't say it because he's number 1 in the world. He's number 1 in the world for a reason. But before he was number 1, we played him in that series there in South Africa, and he's that guy who just keeps coming and gives you nothing. And you think he's tired, and it's even quicker the next spell. And no, he's a machine. Yes, he's tough to face.
Oh, good stuff. Well, you don't have to face them for a while. We don't have Australia anytime soon, unless we get to play them in a T20 World Cup pretty soon.
I thought you were going to say me with a tennis ball half covered in insulation tape on the driveway is quite heavy. I won't take it personally.
You used to chuck it, man.
All right. Last one for the visual round. Opening game World Cup 10 years ago yesterday. This was our starting left back tackling Carlos Vela from Mexico. Who was it that played at left back for South Africa in this opening game? I had to give you one tougher one.
He still plays for Chiefs though, doesn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
That was the guy who came off the bench.
Oh, okay.
That was Masilela.
Yeah.
Is he retired?
I'm not sure if he has retired just yet. He was active quite recently still.
I'm nowhere. I got nothing.
I wouldn't have a clue.
I can tell you that our YouTube comment feed has gone very quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, so we're not alone.
Even Team Silver.
Nah,
Oh man, come on, guys.
no,
I'm stumped here, Ty. I don't know.
unfortunately, I don't watch much South African soccer, so
No, for sure.
I'm going to have a lot of heat from the caddies at the local club when we open up again. They're going to be giving me absolute gears about this, but unfortunately, I got to concede defeat now.
That is all right. This defeat has been conceded. That was a gentleman by the name of Lucas Twala. Thwala. And he went off at half-time for Tsepo Masilela, who's who you were thinking of. So in that visual round 3, that takes you to 5 out of 10. Derek, let's go over to you.
Thanks, Ty. I think, Ty, so far in our previous 2 episodes, that's exactly been the mark after 2 rounds. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, we had 5 in week 1 and 4 last week after 2 rounds.
Okay. So Warren and Lace certainly fought back in the final 3 rounds.
So,
a nice question through. So now normally this is about an hour long. We might go a little longer given the fact that we've got 2 fantastic guests and superstars in their own right. No offense to Lace and Chris, of course, who are the teammates. You guys and girls are also superstars too. But a great question coming through now from Ian Turner. Brandon, he wants to know which 3 pro golfers make up your perfect 4-ball?
See, but that's a weird question. Because if I could be brutally honest, if I was going to have a dream 4-ball, it wouldn't be with professional golfers at all.
Okay, let's hear. Who would we recognize the names?
Probably. So a guy like Ryan Reynolds, I'd like to play golf with him one day. Ryan Reynolds. I played with Jamie Dornan, the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. That was entertaining. We played the Daniel Links together. That was fun. He brought a different group of spectators to the golf course on that day. So I can't say I'd add him to that.
Did you get him to sign your copies of 50 Shades?
You know what? He actually asked me to be his body double, but I just said I've got previous commitments, so I just won't be able to make it. So
top waist up, obviously.
Waist up, obviously. Yeah, waist up. And so, yeah, I would go Ryan Reynolds, Justin Timberlake, just because he's a keen golfer, like a really keen golfer, and he's actually pretty good. I met him last year at the Daniel Links in St. Andrews. And third, I would have to say Daniel Ricciardo, just because he looks like an absolute gent. Like he just looks, I'm so excited for him to join McLaren next season because their testing facility is literally down the road from the club that I play in London. And I've already sent some fruit baskets to McLaren just to introduce me to him. So maybe come, what's up, bud? Be a little bit casual. So yeah, those 3. Like professional golfers, let's just be honest, we're all full of crap. Like there's no beating around the bush. It would be nice to play, like I would play with Aiden, Chris Morris, and AB before I would play with professional golfers. Like I enjoy the social aspect, and I enjoy it more when I play with those boys because they make it a hell of a lot more entertaining. I get to see parts of golf courses I don't typically get to see when I play professional.
But speaking of golf, Aiden, what's your handicap and how often do you play?
Yeah.
Yes, so Tyron, I'm off 11. But it's no, I promise. It's if you Google it, I think.
Well, then that makes it true.
Yeah, exactly. Anything you see on Google makes it true. Yeah, 100%.
If I play Stony, then I'm like a 15. And then I've started playing a bit more sort of this last year. I went through a phase where I lost a bit of interest, but now I'm enjoying, especially the social side of it, and enjoying time away with a lot of cricketers actually, which is strange because you'd think we'd want time away from each other. But I'm on a golf course with cricketers, like Brandon says, it's a lot of fun and it's very entertaining. The banter's quite good, so yeah, it's good fun.
Derek, I must tell you something funny though with Aiden.
Yeah, go for it.
So Aiden's dad lives in the same golf estate as us. Yeah, in Centurion. So Uncle Vicky messages me the one day and he says, listen, would you mind just taking Aiden's golf clubs to him because I was going to go see him for a bri the next day. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So he came, he dropped off the clubs and I took a look in this golf bag and I'm like, oh my word, what is the state of this that is in this golf bag? I'm looking at this, I'm going, I cannot let my mate play golf with this. So I threw in a new driver, new 3-wood, new putter, a few new wedges in there and all that kind of stuff. Take it to his house and we have a Brian. He chucks it in the garage, doesn't really notice. And a few days later, when he goes to play golf, he sends me a message like, "How's it, bud? Listen, I think you gave me someone else's clubs here because all these clubs aren't mine." So I said, "Bud, I couldn't let you be strolling the fairways with that kind of stuff in there. You got to get some ping in there." So he's like, "Oh no, man, you didn't have to do that." But now he rips it like an absolute champion seed.
Do you mind fetching my golf clubs for me, Brandon?
I was going to say, I'm feeling left out. I think myself and Ty are the only 2 men on the planet who haven't received a fruit basket from you the last couple of months.
That's why it's 5 out of 10.
Cool. You know my WhatsApp details. I can't wait to get the address. We'll bump it up quickly the next couple of rounds. Okay, moving on to the audio section. Very easy. You just need to identify the voices here. Okay, we'll start off with this one. So listen carefully and tell me, who is this person?
And I felt like because of me, my whole family moved to a different continent.
Yeah.
And so I was supporting everybody basically, which back then, I mean, I still had so much fun on the court, but looking back at it now, I mean, I would never do that to my kid. You know?
Who is that person? I'll play it one more time. We did play it last night. Yeah, for the Lockdown Sports Quiz faithfuls. Here we go.
And I felt like because of me, my whole family moved to a different continent.
Yeah.
And so I was supporting everybody basically, which back then, I mean, I still had so much fun on the court, but looking back at it now, I mean, I would never do that to my kid. You know?
So we had one answer come through very quickly from AB Muela, who you know well, Aiden. He's the captain of Team Silver, you've represented. And he was quick to shout out Pieter Kutsia. Because when in doubt, playing a sports quiz, which Tyron Barnard is involved in, Pieter Kutsia is invariably a very good chance of being correct. But in this case, I can clearly state it would be.
Well, the accent gives it away, though, because it sounds like someone who's from Central to Eastern Europe who moved to America, because there's a few things that slip under the radar there. So, but it's not Sharapova.
So there's Wozniacki or Kornikova.
Kornikova or Wozniacki's a good shout.
Let's play it one more time now that you've nailed down a bit of a list. Here we go.
And I felt like because of me, my whole family moved to a different continent.
Yeah.
And so I was supporting everybody basically, which back then, I mean, I still had so much fun on the court, but looking back at it now, I mean, I would never do that to my kid. You know?
By the way, I'm looking for the voice that says yeah, hey, not the rest of the voice.
It's a weird one, bro, because Kornikova is a good shout, but I mean that's like a little bit before us again. But I don't know. The thing is, they could do something very sneaky here because Anna Ivanovic dated Adam Scott for a while, and I don't know if they want to tie in tennis and golf here just to really throw me under the curveball there, because Anna's probably gonna.
Oh, are we that sneaky? Would we do that?
If you guys did your recon, but you didn't really know who any of the details earlier, so I doubt it. So I'm not going to put it on you, your boyfriend.
No recon whatsoever.
Kornikova's a good shot, boy.
5 seconds.
Pick
4.
one. I've given you. Pick one.
I'm going to go Wozniacki, just because she's also dated Rory McIlroy. And I think you guys would have picked that up easier. Wozniacki.
Okay, Wozniacki is locked in. And some of the comments coming through. Alta saying, I bet you Aiden had a poster of this person on his room back in the day. So I can assure you that it was not Wozniacki. It was one Anna Kornikova. You had it.
No!
You had Anna Kornikova.
And so we have a Nasser Hussein moment once again.
Yeah.
So that fruit basket, can we not make a plan there? What's going on?
Okay, so 0 out of 1 so far. Next up, who is this person?
Lip that
To
one.
play golf and to play like European Tour, PGA Tour and things like that, it's a dream come true. I'm getting recognised everywhere. It's been like a snowball effect, and it would never have happened if I didn't win Spain.
It's one, Mr. Andrew Beef Johnson. That voice is unmistakable. Come on, guys. I mean, if you're going to give me a golf one, at least make it tricky.
Ooh, okay. So indeed, Andrew Beef Johnson. What's he like, Brandon?
Absolute champion. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your entire life, in all honesty. And he does cook a mean steak. His social media feeds on a weekly basis are littered with 1.5 kilogram T-bones and ribeye. And oh no, he lives up to the name.
So no doubt that he's a big fan of South Africa then.
Oh, loves it to bits. Oh, it's his favorite meat in the world. He said, he's so excited for the Nedbank every year because he just goes to the Legends Steakhouse there in the entertainment center there every single evening for the week, every single night.
What's it like in terms of the socializing aspect? I mean, do you get to socialize a lot with the guys off the course, and not just South Africans, but guys from elsewhere?
Listen, mate, this is not to be confused. The European Tour and the PGA Tour is a traveling circus at the best of times. We get on the same planes and fly to the same cities and stay in the same hotels and go to the same restaurants and get on the same buses to the same golf courses for 4 to 6 weeks in a row. You see everyone, but week 1, everyone's so chatty. How's it, guys? Long time. How are you doing? Yes, we must do dinner. By week 6, everyone goes from the golf course into the lobby, into the elevator, into the room and room service. That's how it works. We are normal people. We see everybody. I mean, the South African golfing community is obviously great. I mean, we have dinners almost every evening, especially at events where we have like a buffet dinner. The whole South African entourage comes together. But yeah, I mean, we've had dinner with all the guys from the UK, guys from Australia, guys from Ireland, all over the world. There's definitely no shortage of cultural diversity on the European Tour, for sure.
Well, it's really nice of you to let the guys travel on your private jet too. So if you say that,
and they just pay for the fuel though, so it's fine.
Oh, okay. Well,
helps with the expenses.
Good trade. Okay, next up, who is this person?
Yes, going to Australia and running in Australia for the first time was really special. Running in the Blue Mountains was really spectacular and really beautiful. The race was quite tough. The first 45 kilometers went really well for me.
Cheapest.
Is he a triathlete?
He could be.
Come on.
Do I want to divulge that? No, he's not. Here we go. Let's listen one more time.
Yes, going to Australia and running in Australia for the first time was really special. Running in the Blue Mountains was really spectacular and really beautiful. The race was quite tough. The first 45 kilometers went really well for me.
First 45 K.
I like how just casually drops the first 45 Ks was tough. I'm like, sorry, what?
How do you feel your first 45, Aiden?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done it before. Yes, I've got absolutely no idea. I can't name a single long distance runner.
So this is an exceptionally long distance runner because, of course, it's longer than a marathon already. Just the first 45 Ks.
So maybe
there's a South African gent who runs the peaks of most major
Ooh,
continents.
he's on the right track.
Oh, what's his name?
So he's not actually like a marathon runner. He's a
no. He's like an adventure trail runner. He runs like over mountain passes, like the biggest mountain passes in the world.
I remember a guy, Mike Horn, helped approaches one year, but I don't think he was a runner. He was just he took them to the Alps and they did like some hiking and stuff, but I don't actually think he was a runner. But I'd assume he's something along those lines, in the sense that guys who do the things that haven't been done, or the things that sound crazy, or things like that. I can't give a name.
I'll play it one more time, and then at the end, I want an answer. Here we go.
Yes, going to Australia and running in Australia for the first time was really special. Running in the Blue Mountains was really spectacular and really beautiful. The race was quite tough. The first 45 kilometers went really well for me.
Some comments coming through. Altaf Kazi saying, if he wasn't a runner, he sounded like Quinny de Kock at the start.
You've got way too much energy to be Quinny de Kock, man. Come on, let's just be honest.
Well, especially so considering that during the lockdown, which is currently underway anyway, he ran in his house. And I forget the distance. Ty, do you know what the distance was?
100 miles.
100 miles in his house.
Oh, I know exactly.
26 hours.
What's his name?
No idea.
I read about him this week, man. I just read it this week.
Oh, well done on the prep. I'm impressed. It helps to keep the knowledge in, though. Doesn't just go through.
You can only sit in your house for so long before you hit the bottom of the Twitter and the Facebook feed. Okay.
Okay, final answer. Who are you going for?
I don't know. I can't. David Smith.
No ways. You locking it in?
Don't come with your rubbish here, Derek.
Incredible. No, not even. The man you're looking for, and you knew exactly who it was, Ryan Sands.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a South African legend when it comes to ultra distance running, and he's done incredible feats. The next Aiden Markram, who knows? Okay, next up, who is this person?
You can't play this better. He swings, he waits for it, foot to the pitch of the ball, caresses it. Look at it. Doesn't try to hit it too hard. Weight moving forward, lovely. But there's 3 other batsmen in the side who are playing rubbish.
Oh my goodness.
The trademark word, rubbish.
I'm going to kill myself. I've hit it.
no, Sauce.
Exactly
No, you
it.
cannot get no.
No, I'll get it. Don't worry. Bumble. His name's Bumble.
Let's play it one more time while you.
Will that do, Derek? Will Bumble do it?
I want the name, but one more time. Here we go.
You can't play this better. He swings, he waits for it, foot to the pitch of the ball, caresses it. Look at it. Doesn't try to hit it too hard. Weight moving forward, lovely. But there's 3 other batsmen in the side who are playing rubbish.
Rubbish. Are you? You know what? I'll take nicknames just to be kind.
Oh, yeah.
Bumble's got to be it.
I'm going to go with Bumble then.
Okay.
I would say
Bumble is
Lloyd
indeed,
is involved, but
yeah, Bumble is indeed the nickname of David Lloyd. Unfortunately, that's not David Lloyd speaking, though.
oh shit!
No, Sauce.
That is one Jeffrey Boyd. Jeffrey Boyd.
Oh no way! My bad.
No
And Lace Hallendorf, Lace was the teammate of Warren last week, saying, "Oh, now you say Jeffrey Boycott because she chose Boycott last week when it was Nasser's."
Okay.
Okay, so next week we're gonna have David Lloyd, and someone will choose something else. Okay. Final one of the audio round. Geez, you started off flying. Well, you almost had 2 right from the bang. You said the name Anna Kournikova. Then you hit back very cockily saying, come on, give us some tough ones, which we are. Okay, final one. Who is this person?
Gosh, I just got I just ordered a new Tahoe, but I just have a Tahoe and I have a Chevy SS with a Corvette engine in it. They quit making them in 17. So I have a little souped up little 4-door car that's pretty fast.
Bubba Watson.
Must have played again.
No, it's Bubba Watson.
Is that your final answer? You don't have you don't have another nickname for him that you want to try throw in?
No,
another Bumble?
You can't use that on a family-friendly program.
It is indeed Bubba Watson. Congratulations. You finished off with a point over there. You know, Bubba Watson was voted a couple of years back. The PGA Tour players were sent a secret survey, which they had to answer. And one of the questions was, which player on the tour are you least likely to cross the road for if they're in a fight? And Bubba Watson came out on top.
Here's a good one for you, boys. Let's see if you can get this correct.
Yeah?
In what year did a left-handed golfer put the green jacket on a fellow left-handed golfer at Augusta National? It's only ever happened once.
Was it Phil and Mark?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, you've got a career in this Quizmaster.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a couple of years. If we're going with that one, I'd say a couple of years before Charles, and that was 11, so 6, 7.
So you're going with Phil and Mike?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Also, because I can't think of anybody else that won it that was a lefty in that era.
Yeah, is Bubba a lefty?
Yeah.
Oh,
is that a point for us?
Yeah, that should be a point for us. That should be a full point for us. I mean, really.
Who did? Yeah, I'm terrible with directions. Whenever you talk about left or right, I actually physically need to turn my body and work it out. Okay, cool.
In 2004, Mike Weir put the green jacket on Phil Mickelson.
Yes, right.
No, I got it the wrong way around.
You got it wrong way around.
Yeah,
I'll give you half a point.
Thanks.
From Brandon's question. Brandon, have you met Bubba? Have you spent any time with him?
I actually haven't spent much time with him, to be brutally honest. I've met him a few times on the ping trucks. So like when we travel around the world, the manufacturers have like these big 24-wheeler trucks that they like do all the club alterations on. And I've met him and Teddy on the truck, his caddy, a couple of times. Very down-to-earth guy, very nice, very relaxed, very south, very far south. Like there's just, and I went to college in Texas, and he was quite by far one of the most southern people that I've met. But at the same time, when I met him for the first time, he showed me his truck that he had just bought, and was an F250 Shelby Ford Raptor Ranger. It was an absolute joke. It was like that typical Shelby blue with racing stripes down the front, and yeah, at the time that was pretty much the ultimate for a kid who grew up in Pretoria. So yeah, I enjoyed that.
So well done. You're getting a 1 out of 5 for that one. Jeffrey Boycott missed entirely, but the one correct. No, sorry, 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5, because you of course got Bubba Watson, and you managed to get right at the beginning Andrew Beef Johnson. So 2 out of 5 for that one. Well done, Brandon and Aiden. Ty, over to you.
Yeah, I was about to say, Derek, please don't make me go redo the scoreboard. If they only got one, you're giving them two. We'd have given you a point for Bumble if you only got one there. But, all right, so on to round 4. These are my questions now, so Aiden will know there will be a hockey question here. But just one. And the answer's not Petey Fitz here. But, all right.
I was saving that.
At the Rio Olympic Games, which you were at, South
Yes.
Africa won 10 medals, of which 2 were bronze. We know the rugby sevens was one of the bronze medals. Who was the other bronze medal?
Rowing. No?
Is that a convincing rowing? Or
so I know we got a silver in the long jump with who was Luvo. The swimmers.
did Rushwell get anything?
Say that again.
Did Rushwell Samai get anything?
Rashi, no, I don't think he did. I think he placed just out. I think he was 4th or he's 5th. Akani finished 5th in the 100. Wade obviously won gold, and Costa.
Was it not hockey? What is the chance of
hockey? Never
getting
went. No, hockey never went.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please,
Aiden.
It's a sensitive point there. I want to say rowing, just because our rowing team's so good.
Good shot.
I'm trying to think of what else. No.
Sorry, is that too soon, or what's going on there?
Yes, I mean the shots being fired in this quiz night is just ridiculous.
I'm happy with rowing. Let's go with it. If that's what you.
Yeah, rowing.
But no,
2-man rowing. I'm going
So rowing is being locked in. Rowing did win a medal, but it wasn't bronze. It was silver. The other bronze was in the triathlon. Henry Skuman.
No, how did I get that wrong?
Now Brendan, obviously as a golfer growing up, Olympics is not really first and foremost on your mind, because firstly there wasn't golf at the Olympics, but then the opportunity kind of opened for you on the back of winning the SA Open, and obviously the Zika virus did its favor for you. I mean, what was that like? I mean, obviously golfers are massive superstars around the world, but what was it like to go and be part of the Olympics?
It was unbelievable. Besides the fact it got me a really cool tattoo, it was just the most awe-inspiring week I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I've told Aiden so many stories about it over every bride. I mean, I think he's tired of hearing it now, but my best story about that week was, so in the Olympic Village, only athletes are allowed in the village. So it's athletes and like one coach and management, so like team management. So like no player managers, no player agents, nothing of the sort. It's literally just athletes. And I remember I flew in from New York because we played the PGA Championship the week before. And while I was lying in the room in the village. I was like, you know what? I can't sleep. I'm too excited. We're just on the opening ceremony. I'm gonna go hit the gym. And I remember walking to the gym. It must have been 1 o'clock in the morning, and the place was absolutely packed to the rafters. I mean, every single machine, every treadmill, every bicycle was full to the brim. And I remember that there was one treadmill open. So me being a golfer, off I walk to this treadmill and I'm running on it, and like at a conservative 9 or 10 k's an hour, and the rest of them are having an absolute go. And the person to my right all of a sudden gets off the treadmill, and next minute someone else jumps on. So I'm busy having a casual jog, and this person to my right is having an absolute go. I mean, I'm too scared to look because all I can hear is the thud of the running and the speed of the treadmill going and going and going. So eventually after 10, 15 minutes of this, I'm going, well, I'm knackered from running on 8 to 10 k's an hour. And this person's been having a go. I think they were on 18 or 16 for the better part of 15 minutes. I jump off, but as I jump off, I look up and it's Serena Williams, who's been having an absolute go of this. And I realized then, I'm like, yeah, that's why I walk for a living. That's, we're going to use the term athlete with a little bit less harsher tone when it comes to golfers.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. And I mean, before I ask you the next question, I mean, was there anybody else that you met that, I mean, I know you're a big star in your own right. Everyone a big star.
Honestly,
leaves you starstruck?
Everyone. So I met Phelps a couple times. I walk past Bolt every now and then. Tony Parker, who played with the San Antonio Spurs, I saw him pretty much every day. Novak Djokovic, saw him a bunch. What's the gymnast from America?
Simone Biles.
Simone. I met Simone. I mean, she is literally 3'7", by the way. She's the shortest person I've ever come across in my entire life. But yeah, honestly, like I said, that Olympic Village environment is so unique that everyone's guards down because no one can get in there. It's so weird. So every single person that you walk past is an Olympian, is an athlete, hasn't had a carb in 3 years, is 6% body fat most of the time, and then get the pot bellies of the European and PGA Tours walking around there with their wife beaters on and their sandals, and you could spot the golfers from a mile away. But it was unbelievable how often you saw a superstar in their own facet. And yeah, like I said, it eventually, by day 4 or 5, you stop pointing them out because you literally saw them so often.
Amazing. Look, we would have, well, I would have been a danger at that because I would have been fanboying badly. All right, let's move on. Question 2 in this round. Dustin Johnson, last year at the Masters, he finished second, and he joined an elite group of people who have finished second at every one of the majors, getting a career runner-up Grand Slam. What I'd like to know is how many people are on that list.
Ooh,
sure.
The great thing here is if you have no idea, a guess is a chance.
Okay, well, Louis Oosthuizen's is one. I know that for sure. I'm 100% sure Jack must have finished second in all of them. Because, I mean, he had a run of events where he literally just in the majors was ridiculous. Sausage, can you think of anyone?
You do your thing, bro.
Cheers, thanks for that. I don't know. Dustin, Louis, has Rory?
Tiger?
I'm just gonna throw a number out. I'm just gonna say 5.
You want to lock that one in?
Yeah, I'll lock that one in.
All right.
5 seems like a nice round number.
It is a nice round number.
But it's the wrong number.
It is a wrong number. The answer is incredibly 8. It's Dustin Johnson, Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, Arnold Palmer, Phil Mickelson, Greg Norman, and of course Louis Oosthuizen, and of course we all remember when he did it because he did his lip sync video.
See, the thing is, like, I wasn't sure about the older generation guys. I knew that there was going to be a lot, but I wasn't sure how many because they won so many. And the difference between like first and second, you don't really get that spectrum too often. And like those records aren't actually recorded in all.
No, I'll be honest. Even researching that was not. It's not the easiest.
Brandon Stone is kicking out. Here's another one for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 2000, Tiger Woods won the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach by 14 shots. Who finished second and third?
Yeah, and third.
If you can get second's pretty easy. Third's a little bit trickier.
Wasn't second Ernie?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, if you can get third, I'll be impressed.
Third.
Year 2000.
2000. Do you want me to give you a clue?
Yeah, please.
Was it the Fijian? Fiji?
Give us a country.
It's the most interesting golfer in the world.
Most interesting.
According to himself.
No. No. When I point him out, when I tell you, you'll agree.
Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Well done, Derek. Well done,
Derek.
Well done.
No, that was a great clue, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the golfing athletes that were at the Olympic Village. I reckon he would have made those golfing athletes look like
athletes.
superstars.
Yeah.
All right. This is a chance for Aiden to shine. Because I'd like to know what is the highest recorded ODI score and who scored it as a team, not an individual.
Stoney, I think it's 442 and it was Sri Lanka. That's But I don't know. It was actually quite after the 438 game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a sneaky question this though because they're playing on our 438 memorabilia. Yeah.
So
I can give you some help. Australia held the record for about 3 hours at one stage.
So who are Australia playing against then? Should we say so? Sri Lanka. You think it's them?
If I have to give you an answer, I'm going to say Sri Lanka.
Must have been like in the Dolsha and Jaya Warden.
Do you need the score, Derek, or Ty?
Yeah, I would like the score.
I'd like a pony that can fly over rainbows, but we all don't get what we want.
You are correct. You are correct. You're full of crap, but it's great.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna guess 442, 443 out of it's probably higher. I don't think it's 450 though.
Nah, it won't be 450.
But that's just my guess. Let's go gut. Let's go 442. Sri Lanka.
Yeah, so Sri Lanka did have the record at 443. I think it was 443 or 442. But then in 2018, against a little cricketing nation called Australia, England in Nottingham went and scored 481 and smashed the record. And when I was researching this, I remember it, but I can't remember the game.
Guys, I just want to ask a question quickly.
Yeah.
Have I got any golf questions wrong?
Yeah, the last one.
I just wanted to point out to the elephant in the room here.
All right, here's a golf question.
Shit.
On the 2016 European Tour, you won the SA Open, which is a pretty cool thing, becoming the youngest ever winner of it. In that season, how many South African wins were there on the tour? It was a fairly... It was a year we'd say was a decent year.
Did Zander win?
No, how many winners or how many wins? Because
how many wins? Because
how many wins? So 2016, I won. Hayden won.
Aiden won. That's it.
Zander
didn't win.
No, Gracie won.
No, he won.
Did Louis?
Dylan, is he still South African? Or is he?
Yeah, I don't know if he won that year though. I'm gonna go 6. For some reason, 6 is playing in my mind right now, and I think I remember something to do with 6.
You want to lock that in?
I'm gonna lock that one in. Yeah.
6. So you were right on Hayden. He won the Joburg Open. Obviously, you won the SA Open. Brandon won in Qatar. Gracie.
Yeah.
Louis did win in Perth.
Yeah.
Shaw won the Alfred Dunhill.
Yeah.
That takes us to 5. But Shaw also won the Tshwane Open. That is 6, and it is correct.
You beauty.
Okay, Brendan, you may now have a go at Aiden about getting a cricket question on.
Yeah, you have full reign.
All right. I'm going to give you a fairly simple hockey question then to round off the question round. And I'd like to know, who is South Africa's all-time top goal-scoring hockey player, be it a man or woman?
I know one named Justin Reed Ross, but I don't know if it's the guy.
I mean, I may be through you an unfair curveball early.
I just want to ask, did you say the guy's name earlier?
I said the person's name earlier.
So, the problem is I can't remember the person's name that you just told us earlier.
Pete Coetzee or something.
Yes, Pete Coetzee.
Surely, if it's not Justin, then it's we've got 2 guesses in there. Let's go with Pete.
All right, are you locking that in?
Yeah.
So yes.
It's her name is PT, not Pete. PT Coetzee, but we will accept that. You do get it. It is 2 points for the round.
Nice sausage, nice boy.
Because our Olympian didn't know Henry Skuman, and our cricketer didn't know the top ODI score, but 2 for the round. Puts you ahead of the shootout on 9 points, 1 behind par. So 1 over par. But Brendan, we talk about all these different sports. So before we give you share, what other sports do you fit into your life, if any?
You could ask Aiden. Listen, we may be professional sportsmen in one facet, but we enjoy absolutely everything. You could ask Aiden, if I'm home and they are playing a super sport park, it doesn't matter if it's against the Pretoria boys under 14 Seaside, I'm there. I love live sport. I love going to anything. The only place that I pretty much don't go to is Loftus, because people that go there scare me. I'm going to be brutally honest. Anybody that wears bull horns in their head and puts a nose ring in is probably not my kind of vibe, and I'm not the most physically daunting human being, so I know when to pick my battles. But literally anything. I'm a massive Formula 1 fan, massive cricket fan. I enjoy my Premier League football as a United supporter, so haven't really enjoyed it over the last few years. But honestly, anything where you hit, kick, catch, throw a ball, I'm into it. I'll give it a bash.
Brilliant stuff. All right, Derek, do you want to take the boys through the shootout?
Yeah, very, very simple, gents. Okay, I'm going to give you a subject. Well, both of us are going to give you a subject, which you get to choose which one you want to go for. And then you need to give us 10 names within that subject. We'll take the very first 10 that you mentioned. So, of course, you can discuss it. So if you do mention a name and the other guy goes, no, hold on, we won't take it as gospel. Yeah. But once we get round about the first 10, then that's it. If you get 10 out of 10, you get an extra point. So you could possibly get 11 out of 10, yeah? Remember, the highest score that we've had so far in the Lockdown Sports Quiz Live is 18. You currently stand on 9. So, yeah, you need a good round, put it that way.
You need a worldie.
Yeah.
And there is a 1 minute timer running.
Yeah, 1 minute timer. And
disclaimer.
I don't even think I really need to give my subject, but I'm going to anyway, because afterwards you're never going to come back to it. So my subject is Formula 1.
Which Ty just said he loves. My subject is Ryder Cup.
Ooh.
Okay. Ooh.
So basically, this is on Brandon. I'll just listen.
So basically we need to do names. You just want names, right?
Yeah, but we'll give you the actual question once you pick the topic.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
No, what you're gonna ask is you're gonna ask golf courses of Ryder Cup, and there's no ways I'm gonna remember all of these.
Should we go with F1?
Formula
Why
One.
not?
Formula One, they're gonna ask us racetracks. Okay, let's go Ryder Cup. Let me give it a whirl.
Thank goodness. I didn't even go research my answer. There's no way you're going to pick it. I'm like, oh, hell, let me just get it on quick.
Derek was like, no.
Breathe.
All right.
That's an extra point for us, I think.
100%.
It's like a fines point.
Yeah, Derek's going to do a few fines tonight. All right, so gents, here is your question. In 2012, in the Ryder Cup, the Miracle at Medina, Europe went into the final day trailing 10-6 and came out with a 14.5, 13.5 victory, one of the greatest comebacks in Ryder Cup history. There were 12 players in that European team, and I'd like to know 10 of those 12, but I'll throw in an extra one. I'll also accept the captain, not the vice captains, but the captain. Your time.
So 2012, sorry.
2012 European
Miracle of Medina.
Yeah, and your time.
Yeah.
You'll see the timer going up on the screen, and then you'll be underway.
Okay, the captain was Jose Maria Barthalabal, Martin Keimer,
Luke Donald,
Francesco Molinari. Westwood never played that year. Sergio
Poulter?
Garcia, Ian Poulter.
6.
Who am I thinking of?
30 seconds.
Did Jimenez wouldn't have played?
No. Rory
Adam
McIlroy.
Scott? No, he obviously no. Sorry, that was stupid. Rory McIlroy.
Did we say Sergio?
Padraig? Padraig? You said Sergio. Did you say Padraig? Would he have played?
No, Padraig
10
was on the
seconds.
coach. He's part of the team.
Let's go with names quickly.
Lee Westwood and
Time up.
Padraig
Sergio Garcia.
Harrington.
Time up. So, how many did you get? That is the question. You did mention 9 names in the end. You didn't quite get 10 names out. And I can
Well done.
tell you that Padraig Harrington did not play, although we would take him as one of yours. The other 8 were all correct. So that team, led by Captain Olathabal, was Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, Paul Lawrie,
Justin Rose. How do
Graham
you not call Rosie
McDowell.
out? Moron.
Francisco Molinari, Luke Donald, Lee Westwood, Sergio
Graham
Garcia,
McDowell.
Peter Hansen, Martin
Peter
Keimer, Nicholas Colsaerts, and Ian Poulter. So what that means for you guys is 8 points. How does that tally up on the
Agonizingly
leaderboard?
short.
It does.
Yeah.
It does tag up. Agonizingly short. We'll just put it up here for you. So
Only that oak knew something about cricket. Yes.
there we go. So Lace's nightmare of Nasser Hussain has not cost her yet. The team still sits on top 18, but a great effort there, Brandon and Aiden, to bring it in. What a wonderful, wonderful evening. Brandon, I mean, obviously, as a South African, we don't have a Ryder Cup. We've got the President's Cup. And what is it like getting to play in an event like that? Or how badly do you want to be in that event?
You know, I think over the last few years, the honor and prestige surrounding the event has grown. Because listen, the reason why the Ryder Cup is what it is because of the history. I mean, the undeniable hatred between Europe and America has been going since 1920 or predating that. So the camaraderie around that event is literally just because they want to get one up on the other. And that's going to take some time for the President's Cup. I think with Ernie coming on last year and doing his bit, I mean, you could see that the actual team environment was very special, and the guys came agonizingly close like we did this evening. But with Trevor taking the reins for next year, there really is no limit to what the team can accomplish. I do think that the internationals need to win sometime soon, hopefully next year. But also at the same time, it's a very special and motivating week from the point of view of what it generates for world interest of golf. I mean, you look at the team last year where they had Hao Tong Li from China, you had Ben Hun An, you had all the Australians in the team, all the South Africans in the team, South Koreans in the team. So the market for the international or the President's Cup is definitely there. And the golfing caliber is definitely there. But for some reason, when the Americans put that Star-Spangled Banner up and put the stripes and stars on their chest, they just become different animals. And there will come a time when the internationals unite like that in a common hatred for the American golfing community over that 1 week. And when that does happen, the honor, the prestige, and the entire energy around the event will be incredible to watch, incredible to play for, and incredible just to take in as a spectator. And when that day does come around, I hope I'm a part of it.
Oh, that's absolutely awesome. And Aiden, for you, my final question. I mean, obviously this year supposed to be a World T20. Obviously you've played at the ODI World Cup, you've played at the Under-19 World Cup. I mean, how does that stack? How does the T20 World Cup stack for you in order of importance and excitement?
Yes, Tom, it's a bit of a tough one. For me, it's the same. You sort of prioritize it the same way as ODI World Cup or a massive Test series even. But I haven't played too much T20 cricket, so it's been a bit of it's quite an interesting one to answer. So, because naturally I'd love to be there and be a part of a World Cup like that. I think from an entertainment point of view, the value would be incredible. I think the crowds would be great, especially in a country like Australia. I think it would be really cool. On a personal front, though, for me to make that side it's a bit of a long shot at the moment. And like I've mentioned, I only played 2 T20 games for South Africa. So, and there's guys that are in there now that are doing really well as well. So they deserve their shots and their time at a World Cup and something as big as that. So it's a tough one. By no means is it something that's watered down at all. I think it's just as important. But yeah, for myself personally, I think the next one coming up is quite a bit of a long shot. But by no means are we going to stop trying. We'll keep sort of at it and see what can happen.
Well, look, we obviously hope you get a big T20 break and get a massive IPL contract so that you too can get yourself a seat on Brandon's private jet and pay for your fuel.
100%.
I've got to ask, finally, the nickname, Sausage, where does that come from?
Yeah. So, have we stopped recording?
No. Is that one of those nicknames? Give the PG version.
No, Chef, I'm joking. And this is by no means taken in the wrong way. But if I come to you and I say, Derek, should we go for a beer? I used to say it when I was young, Derek, should we go for a sauce? Random, very strange. And I think because it was random and strange, it sort of caught on. So now it's sort of, people call me that because I refer to it as going for a drink or a whiskey or whatever as the sauce. So now it's just stuck, and I can explain it on this show, but I can't explain it everywhere I go.
Oh, I love it. I love backgrounds to great nicknames, and I can't wait for us to go for a sauce once this lockdown ends. It's been an honor and a privilege to host you. You've been fantastic guest, falling short by just 1 point of overtaking Warren and Lace. But man, you were great entertainment, Brandon. It's we can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was actually probably the most entertaining Wednesday I've had in about 3 months. So call me back whenever you need me.
The fans are going crazy. So I'm just going to hang up the phone lines quick.
Well, Brandon, you know what we will do, because Aiden's been there before. So on Tuesday nights, we've got the Lockdown Sports Quiz, and that's a private version that's competed by about 50 or 60 people. Do we have the vid, Tyron, lined up?
Yeah, we'll close out with it.
Okay, so we're actually taking it to corporates now, so it's actually going to be a regular thing that corporates can actually buy. But every Tuesday night, we have guests. Last night, we had the likes of Bruce Fordyce in attendance. We had plenty of hockey stars. We had Graham Duxbury, former motor racing legend, well, current motor racing legend, former motor racing driver. And Aiden's been there a couple of times. So we'd love to have you there when you move over to the UK.
I'm in.
Excellent. Done. And then Aiden will have you back as always, of course.
With pleasure. Team Silver all the way.
There we go. Thanks so much, gents. And thanks to the viewers back home for watching. Remember, this will be available throughout on YouTube. But congratulations to Brandon and Aiden. Second place on the honors board, still just behind Warren and Lace. Thanks for joining us. Cheers. It's the quiz that is taking South Africa by storm. And now you can have a piece of the action.
Letting the tension build, and that's enough thinking time.
As a Province fan, it sticks out to me.
Nice question.
The Raider Media Lockdown Sports Quiz has been a massive hit, with hundreds of sports fans and stars having been put to the test by hosts Derek Alberts and Tyron Barnard. And due to public demand, it's going corporate. With the lockdown putting an end to social events for the foreseeable future,
You need this to keep the game alive.
Oh, this I should know.
get the Raider Media team on board to host your corporate quiz, with staff competing from the comfort of their own homes. And if sport isn't your thing, fear not, as any subject is offered, all tailor-made to suit your company's needs. The Lockdown Corporate Quiz. Email info@raider.media to book yours now.
That was cool.
The best time of my life.